What's up, my YouTubers, and welcome to Prison Talk Tuesdays. In this video, this is the raw truth. I won't be using any names unless it's the people that I've met that we have become friends. And this video, Prison Talk, is based on my own opinion and a few others. So let's begin. All right, we are on week 3. So we've already talked about intake and the reception and everything else. So classification. So you've moved from the N pod to the O pod. You have now been classified either to teal or purple, or if you're one of the other colors, you're not O. O has a little bit more privileges. You can now start classes and jobs if you so choose to. So that helps. Then after you move from the O dorm, you go to a different pod somewhere else. Like you're actually in general pop at this point, which is awesome. Which I was kind of scared to be in general pop, to be honest, because you hear all the stories about, fights and gangs. And I mean, you hear all these stories. And for somebody like me who's let's put it this way. I don't seem as innocent as I am, if that makes any sense. Like, I look very, very innocent. I look like I'm one of those people who would get beat up a lot or whatever. I can handle my own. And I basically stayed to myself. But I moved out from the N dorm into the O dorm. I wasn't in there very, very long. I think I was in N for about a month. It's usually customary for you to be in reception for about a month. Sometimes people are in there for about 6 weeks. It just depends. But then you go into the O pod, and it again depends on how long you were in there for, where they want to move you, because certain people have prior charges or can't move or were repeat offenders and can't be here or there or wherever. But I got moved to the C dorm, which they referred to the C dorm as the senior citizen dorm or hospice dorm, which is funny. When they told us, it was me plus 9 other girls who were moving out of the O dorm into C. And when they told us we were moving, they said it was only going to be temporary until they can find another unit to put us in. Yeah. I went to prison on January 21st. I moved out of the O dorm on February 21st. So I was in there for a month in reception, or in the Sparrow unit. The Robin unit. The Robin unit is the medical unit, which you do all of your dentist, your primary care, your mental health care, and that's what's called the Robin unit. Now, some people are lucky enough to work down their time. Again, this is probably common sense to a lot of people. You can get a job and you can work down your time. And depending on which job you take or get, depends on how much time you get off. As well as if you are in any classes, you can get time off. Now, however, I had a set sentence or a flat sentence, which means that it didn't matter what I did, I still got out on the same day, no matter what. On that note, I noticed I forgot to explain my sentencing in my last week. So I had the option, I might have discussed this in week 1 though, but I had the option of either doing 13 months inside and 9 months post-release, or 12 months on the inside and 2 years probation. When I went to my final court date, they took off the 13 months completely, so my only option was 12 months and 2 years probation. Why they took it off, I have no idea. But at the time, I was very happy with that because I did not want to miss the baby's birthday. And then as my time went on, I wish I would have done 13 months and 9 months post-release, because then I would have been done. But I'm happy with it. I chose. We'll just put it that way. So requisition. Requisition, you have either once a month or once every 3 months. It just depends. Again, it all depends because things change in prison like all the time. Requisition, when you move out of the Sparrow unit or off of reception, you get your sweatshirts, your thermals, if you're going into winter, a raincoat, and then if it's going into summer, you get your shorts. You cannot wear shorts after like October 1st, and the thermals definitely helped with the sweatshirts. You did have to wear your shirt untucked. If you wore your sweatshirt, you still had to wear your shirt untucked so they could see which color you are. And no, thermals. Church groups. This is where I meant in week 2, where I said I have them all right now. So the church groups that they offered, I don't know if they still currently are, but we have Catholicism, Native American, Wicca, a youth group, Yolk Folk. The Yolk Folk is only for reception. So if you're not on reception, you can't do the Yolk Folk. I went to it. It was actually pretty cool. It's kind of like a non-dominational thing. We talked, like, we got into a circle, and not all of us. They broke us up into groups depending on how many people went. Oh, and you do have to sign up per week on a sheet of paper if you want to go to any of these. So once you actually do go in, like if you go to Catholic Church, once you sign up on that sheet 1 week, then you don't have to keep signing up. But they do that because they don't want too many people to go in. And but anyways, Yolk Folk, though, we got into a circle, and I think we didn't really talk about anything really religious. We talked mostly about parenting issues. Then they have Recovery Live, Ramadan, Kyros, which is only in spring, which I heard was an amazing thing, and then Shepherd's Heart. Then you could do classes or programs. You have jobs, you get good credit, jail days. So if you don't get in any trouble at all, you get good credit days. Pending charges. So if you have any pending charges, those you have to take care of first before you get any like good credit or anything. And like I said, I had a flat sentence, so none of that applied to me. Then you have ACDP, which is a drug program, the MAT program, which is again a drug program, Match program, which is a parenting, and then ECHO, which is where you move out into like a supervised housing. And I'm sure you guys can look at all those up online. I'm not going to go into the details of those. But for classes, the first classes I took were ethics and communication. That was part-time. I took computer printing. It was also actually called commercial printing. That was full-time. And when I say part-time versus full-time, part-time means I went from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., 2 nights a week. And then full-time, the commercial printing class, I went full-time, which means I went 4 days a week between 8 a.m. and 2 p.m. And I loved the commercial printing group. We did worked with a lot of Adobe Photoshop and stuff. I had the option before I ever went to prison or anywhere on my own time to buy Adobe Photoshop or the editing service, but I never really fully understood it or why all these features. Now that I've taken the class and I know how to use all the features and everything, I kind of want to buy it because it's something I would actually use. I understand that there is free software out there, but that's a whole different topic. And then in the religious groups, I joined the Wicca group because that personally was where I felt mostly at home. And we met once a week on Mondays at 2:30 to 3:30. That reminds me. That's what I meant about codes. So you have at 5 a.m. is code 2. Basically what code 2 means is that you have to be on your bunks and they do counts. And they count each person. Sometimes I think the guards purposely miscounted. I really do think they purposely miscounted. You're not allowed to basically do anything but sit in your bed. You can't talk. You can't have your headphones on, which the pod I was in was an open pod, and we had the guard station in our unit, so it was kind of hard to like do certain things. The other units had the guard station outside of their pods, so they could basically do whatever they wanted. But if they, then they hear over the radio that, code 2 is clear or whatever, and then you can do whatever you want again. But I swear 90% of the time they'd make up like things, but to do at certain times. Like 5 a.m. is code 2, 9 a.m., 1 p.m., 5 p.m., 9 p.m. When you are when I was on reception, we had a 9 p.m. code and a 10 p.m. code, which made no sense to me, but they told us it's because of the work release program. They came back between like a certain time, so they had to do 2 codes. So you could be in a code waiting to use the phone or do whatever from like 8 p.m. to like 11 o'clock at night. And the phones get shut off at a certain time because the day room's closed. So it's like you may not be able to use the phone that night. I mean, you could be in a code for like 5 minutes, or you could be in a code for 4 hours sometimes. It really honestly depends on the guard because, yeah, and it's not fair. Um, and that actually is about it for week 3. I kept that one short just because I know we're getting into a lot of longer ones. So on that note, any questions, comments, concerns, or thoughts or advice, you guys can list those below. And on that note, if you have been or know of anybody who has been incarcerated in North Carolina's Institute for Women and would like to help these women, please like this video, comment, share this video because that is important. We are the outside voices for them. And please make sure to be kind to each other in the comment section. And you guys stay awesome.